Explosions light up Russia's air bases deeper than ever before. Nuclear-capable Tu-95 bombers burn. Drone swarms strike fuel depots, runways, and radar installations hundreds of kilometers from the front. Analysts now warn, this is no propaganda. It's a demonstrable collapse in battlefield dominance. Ukraine's new weapons aren't just pushing back, they're dismantling Russia's war machine. This isn't hypothetical, it's verifiable, precise destruction, driven by innovation, industrial resilience, and intelligence fusion. Ukraine began this war outgunned, outmanned, and depending on meager inventories of Soviet relics. Today, thanks to Western aid, private ingenuity, and state-led reform, it fields systems Russia once assumed unimaginable. And while Moscow scrambles to adjust, Ukrainians innovate faster. They're not just surviving, they're redefining warfare. The drone war is at the center of Ukraine's battlefield transformation. Reuters recently described Ukrainian front lines as a kill zone of drones, where unmanned aerial systems, kamikaze drones, long-endurance strike UAVs, reconnaissance craft, now pose the primary threat, eclipsing artillery and mines. The scale is staggering. Ukraine claims to have produced 2.2 million UAVs in 2024, with a target of 4.5 million in 2025, pushing casualties inflicted via drones up to 80% of total battlefield losses on both sides. One standout operation, dubbed Spider's Web, was executed on June 1st, 2025. About 117 FPV drones were smuggled into Russia and launched near air bases in Ryazan, Irkutsk, Murmansk, and Ivanovo oblasts. The result: up to 34% of Russia's cruise missile-capable bomber fleet, including Tu-95s and A-50 AWACS aircraft, were destroyed or damaged, totaling billions in equipment losses. But it isn't just cheap drones. Ukraine has prioritized interceptor drones to preempt Russian UAVs. Since May 2025, drones from groups like Wild Hornets have brought down over 100 Shahed and Orlan drones, blunting Russian aerial pressure. President Zelensky has set a target of producing up to 1,000 interceptors per day, aiming for city defense and saturation coverage. In parallel, Ukraine secured 33,000 AI-guided strike kits from US-German firm Auterion. These Skynode modules, each with onboard AI and jamming-resistant sensors, convert commercial drones into autonomous tracking strike platforms with kilometer-range targeting. Deployment is underway throughout 2025. This reflects a core dynamic. Ukraine treats drones not just as weapons, but as an evolving ecosystem. Engineers working side by side with frontline crews to iterate hardware and software in real time, shifting tactics weekly. Analysts at CSIS emphasize Ukraine's transformation into a global testbed for drone and AI warfare. One of Ukraine's most psychologically devastating innovations is the Dragon drone, also known as Dracarys. These thermite-spraying UAVs deliver molten iron oxide aluminum mixtures at 2,000 degrees Celsius, capable of burning through metal, vehicles, fortifications, and canopy cover. First deployed in August-September 2024, they've become a staple in forested regions of Kharkiv and Zaporizhzhia, exposing Russian encampments and destroying concealment zones. According to analysts, the psychological impact rivals physical destruction. Troops fear the horror of thermite burns far more than conventional munitions. British defense expert Nicholas Drummond called their development quite innovative, noting the tactical disruption they afford on wooded battlefields. The strategic round continues beyond the front lines. Ukrainian forces now deploy Western long-range missiles like the British Storm Shadow, French Scalp EG, and US ATACMS to strike logistical nodes, airfields, fuel depots, bridges, and command centers deep behind Russian lines. In mid-2025, British intelligence assessed that Storm Shadows alone destroyed up to 17 high-value targets in Crimea and eastern Ukraine. ATACMS have been used in operations targeting Berdyansk and Luhansk, reportedly destroying 20 helicopters in a single strike and significantly degrading Russia's air mobility. Meanwhile, the deployment of GLSDB, ground-launched small-diameter bombs on HIMARS, provided GPS-guided precision up to 150 kilometers, enabling strikes on command posts and depot systems from safe distances. Anti-jamming upgrades deployed in 2025 improved reliability significantly. These strikes are coordinated with real-time intelligence from NATO satellites, high-altitude drones, and encrypted battlefield comms. Ukrainian artillery rarely fires blind. By the time the whistle of incoming rounds is heard, intelligence has already moved targets. Ukraine has also transformed conventional artillery into precision instruments. In 2025, systems like the American M777, German PZH-2000, French Caesar, and British AS-90 self-propelled howitzers became core platforms. When paired with GPS-guided Excalibur shells, they can strike within 2 to 5 meters of target, turning trenches, ammo dumps, and artillery positions into ash. A key example, Ukraine's elite 3rd Assault Brigade deployed British AS-90s near Izium in a coordinated drone-guided strike. In one instance, 6 rounds wiped out a reinforced Russian trench in under 7 minutes. British officers described the AS-90 as surgical and instrumental to Ukraine's resistance. Ukraine now builds a significant portion of its arsenal domestically. At the heart of this transformation is the Tu S-22 Bodana, a unique Ukrainian 155mm wheeled self-propelled howitzer. After only one prototype in 2022, production surged to over 154 units produced in 2024, and rates increased to 20 to 36 units per month by 2025 mid-2025, surpassing the artillery output of many European countries. The Danish model, where allies directly fund procurement from Ukrainian manufacturers, played an outsized role, 550 million euros in weapons orders since 2024, with projections surpassing 1.7 billion euros. The model has unlocked latent industry capacity and fortified Ukraine's sovereignty in defense production. Today, Bodana systems can fire 5 rounds per minute, reaching up to 60 kilometers with rocket-assisted projectiles. Around 85 to 95% of Bodana components are domestically made, a milestone in defense independence. Ukraine also produces munitions for NATO and Soviet calibers, with IDEF 2025 showcasing artillery shell casings across major calibers. Domestic factories now crank out infantry ammunition, mortar rounds, and shells across the logistical spectrum. Defense Minister Oleksandr Kamyshin has led reforms to restructure Ukroboronprom and expand private sector involvement, aiming for 80% privatization in the next few years.